What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Cloud Slayer. Trying to hope you guys are doing well. This week we have another Monday Ramble. This one I wanted to talk a little bit more of. We talk about how we can improve ourselves in different ways, and sometimes our actions reflect on what we actually feel like on the inside, right? You may be a upstanding citizen, you may be, whatever have you. But when it comes to your house here, you're cleaning your house. It may be a chaotic mess, right? Everybody has everything going on, and many different things to do. But you still got to take time to take care of it, right? A home is a reflection of who lives in it, right? It becomes whoever lives in it and what they choose to do or anything like that, right? Because we give the house its soul, right? We bring life to it. Sure, some lives might have some remnants of the past in it, especially if you're not like the first homeowner, which is going to be very, very common, obviously. But but cleaning it and making it look good and organized can be not only decluttering for yourself at home, but also in the rest of your life, right? You're cleaning up a little bit and getting a little bit organized, right? Because if you don't normally do that, you don't have a routine to clean those things and get them a little bit less clustered. It'll show in your life, right? It shows in your house. It shows everywhere that you go to, anywhere that you've been, right? I had a fun little fact. I have friends, right? They're not bad people, but they're busy and they have a lot of kids. And when you have a lot of kids, you're super busy, right? You're real busy. One kid's you're busy. 2 kids, they're a handful. 3 kids, I can only imagine. 4 kids, they got a lot of kids. They have 4 kids, I think. And, it's chaotic, right? You clean up one mess, 10 more sprout up, and you guys got to clean that stuff up too, right? And, they'll be running around like it's a jungle gym and stuff like that. And it's understandable, You're almost not going to catch up to that if you choose to stay on it, I guess, unless you give them responsibilities to pick up their own mess and stuff like that. So I'm not criticizing or anything like that. There's times where I leave a mess and I don't pick it up, right? There's times where my son leaves a mess and we don't always get to it right away, right? That's fine. That's 100% fine. But trying to keep and maintain some kind of consistency within our own lives for not only us but for him, right? For the younger ones and even myself. So because when everything's chaotic, everything's all jumbled up, everything's a mess, it creates more stress. There's more stress. You're just spewing, you're just sitting there brewing inside of your own chaos that you have created within your own home and within yourself, right? So what do you got to do, right? Take some time, maybe even get everybody involved in the house. Sometimes when we go to clean up the house and we just, we can't do it. We're just too much. It's overwhelming us, right? Get others involved. Get those ones that are also in the house involved as well. You don't have to do it alone, right? Sometimes when you have a bigger household, it's discouraging because, you're the only one doing it, and then other people on their tablets, on their phone, on their whatever, video games and stuff like that. Well, you're not alone, and you're not the only one that made that mess, right? So part of communicating and growing with your children and helping them be better, helping yourself be better, and helping all that kind of stuff is to create some kind of game plan with each other, right? and help each other out. I know my first mistakes when I was trying to get my son to clean up. He didn't want to clean up, like most kids don't want to clean up. I didn't want to clean up, whatever. But you talk to him, right? You discuss with him. You're like, hey, man, you got to clean up. We'll clean up. I'll help you clean up. And, if you need any other help, you got to say something, right? You got to say something. You grab these Legos up here, you throw them inside your Lego bin, and I'll start picking up these cars and stuff like that. How about that? And maybe, and you don't bring up nothing. You'd be like, well, we'll plan something afterwards, right? We can play more afterwards. But first, we have to do this. We have to clean up. We got to make sure nobody trips in the middle of the night when you're getting water, going pee, or whatever, or when somebody's checking on you or something, and, go about it that way. And you create a little system with them that, where they're not alone and you're not alone and you're doing something constructive together, right? Mama's going to go clean the bathrooms she's going to go do laundry. I'll start cleaning the bathrooms. I'm going to need some hand. You need a hand in your bathroom, whatever. You pick up the shampoos. I'll start wiping all the surfaces down. I'll start with the countertop here, whatever, And by the time I'm done with this, maybe you teach them how to do it if they're old enough. If they're too young, then they shouldn't be playing with chemicals whatsoever, right? You can get poisoned or whatever, stuff like that. So those are always things to keep in mind, right? You always just give them a wash rag that's just wet, just water, right? But anyways, you're creating something where it doesn't seem like much, but it is. It's much more than some people think. It's much more than what some people can do. It's much more than some people really want to admit, right? So I know there might be a ton of parents out there where they can't get their kids involved, where they can't, whatever. Maybe even the other parent is combating you and being like, leave them alone. They don't have to if they don't want to. That's a whole different situation entirely that you have to work on, that you got to fix, that you have to communicate to the other person, Because if you keep going at it, you're going to slowly drive yourself insane, man. You find yourself doing everything, cleaning, all this other stuff. And it's another stress on you in your life, right? What are they going to do when they don't have dad anymore because he died of stress, right? Overworking himself or whatever, Nothing, because they choose to sit around and somebody allowed that to be okay, right? And which is fine and dandy if that's what you're okay with. But if you're not okay with that, you got to be more active. You can't, sometimes you got to grow some cojones and be like, I can't sit around while this is happening. You know what I mean? Something's got to happen, You don't like how little Billy doesn't like to listen. You don't like how little Billy doesn't want to clean. You don't like any of that. Well, this is what we're going to do. We got to come up with a plan. We got to help each other out and continue forth with that. And we got to communicate, right? If not, then there's another, you have to make choices whether that person's right for you or not, whether it's worth it for you to be with that person. Sometimes it's not, that's why there's divorces. That's why people break up. That's why, it sucks. Sometimes, us people, us humans don't want to work together to do that. And sometimes that's when you realize that, that person was the best person for you, because you realize after they're gone all the hard work that they did for you, all that shit that they did for you. Sometimes they don't realize it and they just keep going, living in filth, and they'll just blame you for whatever, and that's going to happen. That's real life for you. And I know there's probably a few people that might listen to this that have gone through something like that, right? And it's tough. It's a reality that not everybody goes through, but some people do. Quite a bit of people probably do. Maybe but that shouldn't be an excuse for you to not do it as well, right? no excuse whatsoever. If you want to see your kids succeed, you want to see your kids do well, you know, it starts with giving them things to do and learning how to guide them to do different things and be a little bit more open-minded, right? Or willing to at least listen a little bit, right? Especially when they start going to school. Because if you don't do nothing, you sit around, you just play video games, you don't do nothing, you don't play with your kids, you don't do none of that stuff, right? You don't help them read, write, whatever, and they learn nothing. And they might have outbursts of anger for no reason, right? Sometimes it's out of control for those, sometimes it's out of the kid's hands, sometimes it's out of the parents' hands, like if you're a single parent or something, but it's not impossible, right? It's not impossible. It's going to be very tough, obviously, because you got to pay rent, you got to put food on the table, you got to do all this different things. You got to have a babysitter set up, especially if they're young and stuff like that. Not going to be easy, right? Everything's circumstantial, and not everything's going to happen the same way that it happens to other people. But chances are, being 2025, that somebody's been through it, that somebody's been able to go through it. Granted, there's great debates of, maybe childcare was a little bit more affordable back then, stuff like that. And, I agree to an extent, but, what do you do? There's nothing you can do when that's outside of what you can control, right? You got to try to find if there's any kind of government aids that can help you, especially if you're a single parent, and a lot of people I see like online pooping on like single parents and stuff like that, especially females, right? Shouldn't have had kids with some bum or whatever. It's like sometimes you don't know they're a bum until they leave your life, until the going gets tough, then the motherfuckers leave you, or whatever. I'm not gonna blame all dads because some of them get chased away by some of them. Like I made some examples of people not wanting to help out. I've seen that many times, and they're like, "Oh, he just left me for no reason." He's like, "I never seen you get up and clean anything. I never seen you get up and cook. I never seen you take care of your kids that well." Sometimes it's circumstantial, right? And sometimes it's going to be outside your control. Sometimes people are going to drive you away. Sometimes you're going to drive people away, right? Oh, there's a way. It's not. I'm not going to say it's okay, but it might happen, and it can happen. It might have already happened. But the thing is, you got to go forward. You got to keep going forward, right? You can't just give up. You got to learn from these things. You can't continue to go insane. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing and expecting a different result to happen, You're just basically insane, man. You got to, if you want a different result, you got to speak up. You got to start doing different things. So anyways, I hope you guys start cleaning your houses with your kids. Creating chores is a good thing for them. Creating some type of expectations for them is good for them. So, and it's good for you as well. It's good practice for you, and it's good. It's a good thing to do. So I hope you guys have a great one. Please consider it. If you like this content, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Until next time, peace out, guys.